everyone, welcome to your daily news update. Quick, clear, and straight to the point. We've got top stories from 25th of August lined up just for you. So plug in your earphones, grab your chai, and let's get started. Global news. Israel strikes Gaza hospital, killing 20 including journalists. Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis was hit twice, killing at least 20 people including journalists from Reuters, AP and Al Jazeera. Israel acknowledged the strike, launched an internal inquiry. The incident drew global outrage and calls for media protection and investigation. Asian stocks surge as Fed dovish hopes boost markets. Chinese and broader Asian stocks climbed sharply amid optimism over a potential US Federal Reserve rate cut. Markets priced in 84% likelihood of a September rate cut, with up to 100 basis points easing by mid-2026. Treasury yields and the dollar stabilized on easing inflation fears. Wall Street futures dip ahead of Nvidia earnings. The US stock futures softened as markets awaited AI chipmaker Nvidia's earnings and awaited a concrete Fed guidance. Analysts factored in a potential 25 bps cut, but uncertainty about consumer inflation loomed. Investors tread cautiously ahead of high-stakes tech reports. The US dollar rebounded modestly after sharp losses following Fed Chair Powell's dovish comments hinting at September rate relief. Fed signals lifted market sentiment while keeping inflation concerns alive. Euro, sterling and yuan trended amidst shifting bond yields. Korean Air records biggest ever Boeing jet order. At the Trump-Lee US South Korea summit, Korean Air placed a $50 billion order for 103 Boeing aircraft and GE engines. The deal supports post-Asiana merger, expansion and diversification of routes. It's one of the largest orders in aviation history. The US is weighing sanctions and visa restrictions against EU officials overseeing the Digital Services Act. The proposed move stems from concerns of overregulation of US tech giants like Meta and Google. The standoff could escalate US-EU regulatory tensions. Brent and WTI crude climbed over 1.5% with traders focusing on escalating Russia-Ukraine tensions. Concerns over supply disruptions supported energy prices. Global markets remain sensitive to geopolitical risk. India's Mirabai Chanu won the women's 48 kg category at the Commonwealth Weightlifting Championships in Ahmedabad. She lifted a total of 193 kg, setting a new championship record. The victory adds to India's weightlifting accolades. The US sent the USS Lake Erie and USS Newport News to the southern Caribbean targeting narco-terror threats. Ships join an amphibious squadron already off Venezuela, highlighting security escalation. Trump continues to centralize anti-cartel operations and border enforcement. An executive order mandates up to 1 year in jail for flag desecration in the US. Free speech advocates criticized the move as curbing symbolic protest. The order ignited constitutional debate over expression versus nationalism. Oraini Flight 78B and ATR 72 from Guernsey to Manchester became most tracked ATR 72 ever with over 1.3 million views. The phenomenon demonstrates growing public fascination with aviation tracking, highlights the role of real-time apps in global travel management. Markets reacted sharply to Powell's Jackson Hole dovish pivot, prompting volatility, especially in the dollar yields. Fears of Fed independence being influenced by politics surfaced. Rate futures reaffirmed expected cuts by year end. News from India. The Ministry of Statistics will integrate real-time price data from e-commerce giants to reshape the Consumer Price Index, the CPI. Launching next year, the updated CPI will better reflect changing consumption trends and include a services production index. The enhanced monthly employment surveys and GDP series also feature in this overhaul. Fitch Ratings maintained India's sovereign rating, citing sustained growth and strong foreign reserves. GDP forecast remains at 6.5% for FY26. However, debt and US tariff risks were flagged. Reforms like GST rationalization may cushion pressure. Nifty and Sensex opened higher, driven by expectations of US easing and domestic GST and S&P upgrades. Foreign inflows paused after recent sell-offs. Indices rose by about 1% and investors remain watchful ahead of US tariffs impact. On humanitarian grounds, not under the Indus Waters Treaty, India alerted Pakistan to potential flooding in Sutlej and Ravi rivers. The move comes amid intense monsoon rains and stalled diplomatic ties post-conflict, a rare gesture given tense bilateral relations. Following new legislation banning real money gaming, Flutter halted operations of Junglee in India. The closure affects about 1,100 employees and pulls $200 million revenue out of the tech ecosystem. Regulators warn of a push toward unregulated gambling platforms. The SBI urged regulators to allow capital usage for acquisitions, signaling growth via consolidation. This comes amid evolving financial sector dynamics post-pandemic. Regulatory clarity is now a priority for banking expansion strategies. Though rating was maintained, Fitch cited 80.9% debt to GDP as elevated and slowing growth as long-term risks. Policy resilience and expansion in services remain key counterweights. Debt remains a watch point ahead of future upgrades. Veteran banker Rajiv Anand took charge of the IndusInd Bank amid strategic restructuring. His leadership is expected to drive renewed growth in retail and digital operations, signals continuity and confidence in corporate governance. In India's protein-deficient market, McDonald's tie-ins with Bollywood stars are promoting wellness products. The campaign taps into health-conscious youth seeking protein-rich alternatives, highlights evolving consumer aspirations and brand strategies. A collision between a container truck and a tractor resulted in multiple fatalities and injuries. 8 killed and about 43 were injured. The incident prompted renewed calls for road safety reinforcement. Former India skipper Sourav Ganguly begins his first coaching stint with the Pretoria Capitals in the South African League. The move marks his official return to the cricket ecosystem. Fans anticipate Ganguly's leadership impact abroad. Launch of a residential project saw robust sales worth 10 billion rupees, underlining housing demand in Hyderabad. Reflects continued strength of real estate amid financial sector transitions. News from Telangana. Telangana High Court dismissed an income tax search and seizure action from 2005 against a liquor contractor. The verdict ends a lengthy legal and financial dispute. It may set precedent for similar unresolved cases. The tech giant Microsoft leased 2.6 lakh square feet at Phoenix Centaurus, Hyderabad's financial district, on a 5-year deal. It reflects Hyderabad's stature as an AI and tech growth hub. CM Revanth Reddy unveiled an innovation roadmap targeting manufacturing and life sciences. A 302-acre Sultanpur MedTech Park houses about 60 firms boosting Telangana's Telangana Rising 2047 mission. The shift aims for a $1 trillion economy by 2034. Speaker Gaddam Prasad Kumar called on Home Minister Amit Shah to expedite approval of the 42% backward classes quota bill. The state links approval to scheduling local elections. Political urgency mounts with September deadlines looming. BRS leader KTR called for defected MLAs to resign and contest by elections as a test of legitimacy. He accused the CM of misusing the Hydra task force to suppress real estate. Asha workers staged demonstrations across Telangana demanding overdue compensation. The protest highlighted systematic gaps in frontline health worker support. Authorities are pressured for immediate redress. Heavy rains across Telangana affected roads and services, prompting emergency relief mobilization. Infrastructure resilience remains a growing concern. Officials urged vigilance and quick repairs. Hyderabad's Sangeet Natak Academy hosted a stellar night of dance and drama celebrating Telangana's artistic legacy. The event drew regional performers and local audiences. It understood Hyderabad's cultural vibrancy. News from Hyderabad. Microsoft's large-scale office space lease injected optimism into Hyderabad's commercial real estate scene. The expansion creates jobs and strengthens the city's tech ecosystem. KTR's political dare reverberates in Hyderabad. The MLA by-election challenge against defected members ignited citywide media discussion. It's a bold strategy to mobilize public sentiment against the current regime. Hyderabad became the focal point of this state-level political flashpoint. The push for statewide 42% reservation stirred discourse across Hyderabad's communities. Urban voters are increasingly attuned to inclusive policy debates. The issue remains a central rallying point ahead of elections. The Biodesign Summit's success showcased local startups and research centers thriving in biotech and medtech. Hyderabad's ecosystem now draws global partnerships and investors. The city solidifies its role in India's healthcare technology growth. Medical workers from Asha protected in Hyderabad as well, demanding pay and recognition. The local government faces pressure to address healthcare delivery challenges. Civic awareness and frontline worker issues is rising. Hyderabad observed the broader India Pakistan interaction as a humanitarian flood warning was sent, first official contact post conflict. The outreach resonated in regional media, emphasizing people first diplomacy. It underlined Hyderabad's geopolitical context despite internal strife. And that's a wrap on today's headlines. If you enjoyed the update on the go, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps us keep the news coming your way. Thanks for tuning in, and do let us know if you have any stories you'd like to hear in the form of an audiobook. See you tomorrow with more stories that matter. Take care.